non-Catholic, for example, a Lutheran, receive the anointing of the sick if a Catholic family member requests it and a non-Catholic is agreeable or unresponsive? In other words, can you give Catholic sacraments to a non-Catholic if the family or even the person wants it? And the answer to that is no. The reason for that is the sacraments are a participation in a belief system. If you believe what the Catholic Church believes, you receive the Catholic Church's sacraments. If you do not believe in what the Catholic Church teaches, you should not receive the Catholic Church's sacraments. Which leads us back to a discussion that we had last week, if you remember, about last rites, which doesn't exist and never did. We began to call it that because they would wait till someone was literally on death's doorstep before they gave them the anointing of the sick, extreme unction they used to call it. But it was never intended to be that. I mean, we even see in the letter of James, it says, "Are there sick among you? Call for the priest to come and pray over them, anointing them with oil. The prayer of faith will save them." And if we see that in the scriptures, it means that we're supposed to call for the priest and be anointed with oil anytime we're sick, whether it's physical sickness, mental sickness, or even spiritual sickness. But again, it means that we believe in those sacraments. We can't just take whatever sacraments we want from whatever faith tradition we want, because if we don't believe what they believe, participating in it doesn't make sense. Someone asked me about that with communion. They said, what if someone is like Methodist or Baptist and they come to a Catholic church with a friend, can't they receive communion? And my response was, sure they can, as long as they believe and profess everything that the Catholic Church believes and professes as being revealed by God and is the way to salvation. How many Baptists or Methodists are going to say that? They're not going to, because they don't believe in everything that the Catholic Church believes and professes. So if you don't believe it, it doesn't make sense to receive it. And while it might make the family feel okay, because the person receives something like the anointing of the sick, it's not really helpful if the person themselves doesn't want it or they're not receiving any sacrament from it. Did you have a question?
Yes, the sacrament of baptism. When baby's been baptized, they don't really know yet. Is that true of baptism also?
Baptism is a little bit different, because baptism, when it's done with a child, the parent is doing it in the name of the child, which in a sense is why the Catholic Church, the Roman Catholic Church, I should say, has confirmation. Because at confirmation, they're usually 16, 17 years old. They're taking their own faith into their own hands, and they're kind of finishing off what was started by their parents at baptism. So in a sense, by participating in confirmation, they're taking ownership of that sacrament and receiving another one to continue it. So it's a little different. Everyone's pagan when they're born. Pagan babies, we'll call them. Because they don't belong to Christianity, they don't belong to Christ, they belong to the world. But when they're baptized, that's when they enter into the church. Whether they're baptized at a day old, a month old, a year old, 10 years old, 30 years old, it doesn't matter. Because until they're actually incorporated into Christianity, they don't belong to any church.